You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Kelly, we saw Democrats lose nearly 1,000 seats under President Barack Obama in his 8 years. In the last midterm, they reclaimed some 350 seats. They look to take a lot more. There's a ton of dissatisfaction with Donald Trump across the country. That is having an impact not only on Republicans in Congress, but also in the state houses. We see what's happening in Texas. A massive number of retirements in Texas because they're getting their clocks clean in the suburbs in those congressional areas as well. And so there's great concern in many of these places that are red, but also that are purple, that Donald Trump is a tremendous drag on the ticket and could very well bring the Republican Party down.
Well, if they haven't figured out that he's bringing the Republican Party down by now, I mean, there's kind of, no hope in terms of like how the constituents of these respective districts will feel come voting day. My concern really is the extreme bipartisanship and people just shifting to the Democratic Party just because they don't like Trump, even though that's good in terms of voting and having Democrats, take over in offices, but it'll also kind of mingle up some of the issues of Democrats, and you'll have say blue dog Democrats in, certain positions that don't necessarily abide by democratic values and whatnot.
Yeah, but the reality is there are places where you do have districts that are evenly split. So the reality is you're going to have centrist Democrats win. Yeah. You're not going to have places where Democrats are going to be left or far left. And so that is the difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. In the Republican Party, you can forget the idea of being a moderate.
They're very rigid.
It's right or far right. And so you're more likely to have more centrist Democrats. But the reality is, in order for them to take over Congress, in order for them to take over state legislatures, they're going to have to win in those areas where Republicans have actually won. Melick, your party is very concerned because they got their clocks clean in the midterms. They lost a number of places where Trump won 10, 15, 20, 25 points. They do not want to see a bloodbath today.
Well, first of all, go Nats.
Yeah, especially y'all red MAGA hat wearing ones at the parade.
The MAGA ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Go Nats. Well, I think you pretty much captured it in what you were saying about what happens. This is more cyclical than people are giving its due. You just mentioned the 1,000 or so seats that Obama lost. I don't know if that's an average as far as.
No, it wasn't an average. What happened was in 2010, you had, of course, Republicans who won, but then you had massive voter suppression that was put in place by legislatures all across the country that also aided that also drove a lot of partisan gerrymandering that led to those seats. As a result, what you're now seeing are Democrats who are now actually running far more folks across, like in North Carolina, they actually ran in every single position. In Virginia, they began to run in places where normally they would not run. And so now Republicans are having to defend races where they normally didn't.
Yeah, but I think my point is still the same. I don't think that the idea that the party in power losing seats or maintaining or losing one house or the other, I don't think that that's something that's different. Of course, the Republican Party, we're going to want to fight all of our elections, any contested elections or not. I give the Democrats credit, just like I gave the Republicans credit, of those who are willing to go into these districts. Will Hurd is another example. Just a lot of conversation about Will Hurd down in Texas, but Will Hurd, I think, won with about 47% or so of the vote the last time. So there wasn't like there was this groundswell.
Well, first of all, in his district, it actually.
Which is not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but let's be clear. First of all, that because of Latino population, there were 5 districts that were actually created that were new.
Right.
Republicans actually drew 4 of them to benefit them, only 1 Democrat.
Yeah.
So they drew that district
for
the purpose.
Right.
They barely won that. But Jason, the real deal, what you're facing here is Republicans. They've lost state seats in places where Trump won big. To act as if you do not have an anti-Trump view among moderates, among independents, even among Republicans, that's real.
No, absolutely. I think that there is a backlash. I think this also comes down to turnout. And, I think that Democrats, what you were saying, I agree with it mostly, But I think Democrats have to take a little bit of responsibility for the bloodbath under Obama. They didn't focus on those smaller elections. And that's one of the reasons why Republicans were able to take advantage. And then when they all got in, one of the first things they did in places like North Carolina was voter suppression. They, voter ID, all that kind of stuff happened because Democrats were focused on national elections and not quite as much on the local elections. And they changed strategy this time.
Well,
and I think that
they were focused on local races. Obama wins, kicks out Howard Dean, pulls in his folks, and he wasn't concerned about the national Democratic infrastructure, and that was the problem. And so, and that was a huge issue, and they knew they had to fix that. He was more concerned about organizing for America, Obama for America, which became Organizing for America, which actually was competing with the DNC. Now what you have seen is you've now seen state parties after 2016. They made more demands of the parties, said we need more of the money returned to our coffers, and now they're actually competing. And also what you got to benefit from Bernie Sanders' group, Our Revolution, in terms of running folks. Also, you look at other groups out there who understand that you cannot, that the focus cannot just be what's happening nationally, but you have to understand what's happening in state houses. And that's why also it's important. Malik, Republicans are concerned because if they see losses, they're going, man, 2020 is going to be even tougher for us.
Well, of course, but my point is that this is not something that's uncommon. It happened in 2008 with Obama. It happened in 2010 with Obama. 12 and every year.
No.
This is Obama himself.
2008.
I'm sorry.
2008, Obama won.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not 2008. After Obama got into office. So once we got to the 2010 midterms, 2012 midterm, these are conversations that parties have all the time. And whether or not the person at the top is a drag on the ticket. In Obama's case,
no. First of all, 2012. You didn't see that. And in 2014, of course, they took back the House. Again, that's on the congressional side. The difference here is what's happening on the state level. And that is the difference. And so what you saw is that Republicans solidified control. Now what they're seeing is they're losing control. And so, Republicans are saying that Trump is a drag on the ticket. And so, yes, he's good for Trump, but he's not good for the rest of the party. And what they're concerned about are losing in places that they have traditionally won.
Right.
That's what's causing them concern.
But I don't think that this is something that's just so different, though. I remember these same, because I was a Democrat at that time, so I definitely know whether or not Obama was a drag on the party. And Obama didn't have very long coattails. People have to remember that. It's not like he had a lot of long coattails. Of course, the party is concerned. The party should be concerned, not specifically because of Donald Trump. Yes, you can say that, he's the top of the ticket, but the party should be concerned about the outreach efforts of the party that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I think there's a larger discussion to be had about what the party itself is doing that's really divorced from Donald Trump at all. Whether or not we have people running, this is a great time in that we have people like DJ Jordan and others running down in Georgia. We have other Republicans running in Kentucky. So we do have more blacks, because I'm definitely concerned about having more people of color, specifically black, competing in these areas. Whether or not they win or not, the fact that they're jumping in, I think that's something that's just very important to the party as a whole.
But you don't think that the ideology of Trump over the past 3-4 years hasn't placed a tarnish on the party?
I'm sure it has. And in fact, that was going on while he was running, even when he became the nominee.
Well, I'll tell you this: if number one, if there's a bloodbath for Republicans in some of these elections, and you start to see those poll numbers really drop, I think that's going to have an effect. Particularly, you may see some senators defect. Right now they're rallying around.
But what does defect look like?
I'm saying with impeachment. Once
I don't think you can see that.
It could happen once it starts to dip. Low enough. And if there's if you have the perfect storm, that's all I'm saying. If you have a perfect storm of a bloodbath in these elections, and then you have the poll numbers drop, they've dropped 6% in the last week. If they keep
and the poll
going,
numbers are going to keep at that same inflow, and of course,
perhaps. But I'm saying if you see them continually dropping, people are self-interested.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to have the bloodbath.
That's perhaps
we're going to lose
maybe
some seats. We're going to lose some seats.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, second annual Luxe Jazz Festival, folks, takes place in Cabo, November 7th through the 11th. That's right, Thursday through Sunday. I leave tomorrow. Looking forward to being there. Of course, if you want to participate, lifeluxjazz.com. But if you cannot attend, go to gfntv.com. Of course, they will be live streaming the 3 days worth of concerts featuring, you saw Gerald Albright, Alice Bunyan, Raul Madon, Incognito, Pieces of a Dream, Kirk Whalum, Average White Band, Donna McClurkin, Shalea, Roy Ayers, Tom Brown, Ronnie Laws, and Ernest Crowles. Again, gfntv.com. Get your live streaming pass, $10.99. All those concerts covering 3 days, and so you don't want to miss that. And of course, I'll be broadcasting from Cabo on Thursday and Friday, so looking forward to that. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.